निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशकारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna. So welcome you all again for this wonderful level 2 course. So before starting, we'll offer our dedication and gratitude and respects to the founder Acharya of International Society for Krishna Consciousness, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So today we are going to discuss something about yoga ladder. So what you can imagine of when you hear this word yoga ladder?
Series of steps which if we do properly we might reach God really.
Okay, it's a series of steps, something that we can understand. Anything else? Ups and downs. Okay. Anything else? Huh? Okay, to reach God. No, ladder to reach God. Okay, nice. Listen, so we'll enter into this one. So we are going to see what is yoga, what are different kinds of yoga, and then progression of yoga ladder that we are going to see. So only half of it we are going to see today. The rest half will be covered in the next session. And the later things, Bhakti Yoga and Krishna's choice and things like that and all. So those things will come later. So we will see to a certain extent today. And okay, so whenever you hear this word yoga, what comes to your mind? Exercise. Okay, anything else? Joining. No? In Hindi, yoga means what? Addition. Huh? Like subtraction को क्या बोलते हैं? अयोग्य ना? Viyog. So this is how the word yoga means to join, to bring about, bring things together and things like that. So that is, any other thought of yoga? Meditation, exercise, anything else?
Something done for getting relief from stress.
Okay, stress relief. Process of union with God. Anything else? Okay. So prominent, unanimous answer was exercise. So yoga means exercise. Okay. Let's see that. So now we see this is just a minute. So this is a nice shloka. I'll chant, you can repeat after me. Yogastaha kuru karmani Sangam tyaktva dhananjaya Siddhi asiddhayoh samo bhutva Samatvam yoga yuchyate. Okay, without seeing the translation, so yogastaha, staha means to be situated, be situated, sthit ho jao, yogastaha, kuru means
Guru dynasty.
So Arjuna is, different times he is addressed in different ways. Like, he is descendant of Kuru, and all of them are Kauravas, right? So because they all come from Kuru dynasty. But then Dhritarashtra actually makes this division. These are sons of Pandavas, Pandu, and so they should be called as Pandavas. And these are Kauravas. Kauravas, they are not called as Dhartarashtra. Dhartarashtra, in Bhagavad Gita also that word comes, descendants of Dhritarashtra. So, but then he takes this one, the Kuru Vamsha. The Kuru Vamsha is attributed only to the sons of Dhritarashtra, and to the sons of Pandu, they are Pandavas. They are different, So, he was trying to make that division over there, right? So now Krishna is using this word Kuru, to point to Arjuna, with whom he is conversing. So karmani is, karma is an action that is performed. So grammar of Sanskrit may be a little difficult, but then you can try to understand these words. Sangam, milan, tyaktva means giving up. Tyaktva, tyag karna is tyaktva. And Dhananjaya, conqueror of wealth. About whom it is told? Arjuna. Because at one point in time, so he actually, for performing a great sacrifice, they had to bring a lot of wealth. And Arjuna went and bought huge amounts of wealth. So that's why he got this name, Dhananjaya. And Siddhi means what?
Special ability.
No. Huh? Success, yeah. Siddhi means success. Asiddhi? Failure. So Siddhi, Asiddhi, Sama means what? Equipoise. Be equal in both success and failure. And Bhutva, Samatvam Yoga Uchyate. Right? So to be equipoised in both success and failure is called yoga. This is a very, very basic definition of yoga. So it is not a very refined and advanced definition of yoga. And you can see that it is in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So in the later chapters, Krishna actually redefines this word many, many times. So now here he is telling, perform your duty equipoised, O Arjuna, abandoning all attachment to success and failure. Such equanimity is called yoga, right? So the general and basic definition is that becoming detached from matter. So actual definition is becoming detached from matter and then becoming attached to
God.
Attached to the spirit, or God. So that is the ultimate goal of all the yoga systems. Right? So in the yoga systems, two parameters are always there. So one is detachment from matter and another is attachment to the Supreme Absolute Truth. Right? So why we use this word Supreme Absolute Truth?
Because when we say Krishna, most people think it's Hindu like that.
No, not like that. It's a philosophical term.
Maybe
Param Satyam, no? Tattvam Param Dhimahi, no? Satyam Param Dhimahi, these all Vedic statements are there. So that same thing we are using it in English, right? The Supreme Absolute Truth. Truth means what is the reality, what is for example, any truth, you can tell from this world? Sun rises in the east. Okay. Any other?
we sleep at night.
We sleep at night, right? So these are all actions that are happening in this world. So you have observed these things. This is truth. But is it absolute truth? Is it absolute truth means at any cost this will happen? No. So sun rises at east, till the time this world exists. When pralaya happens, there is no world, no sun. So then there is no possibility of sun rising in the east. So this is a conditional thing, till the time these things exist, right? So absolute truth means that which cannot go false at any cost. At any permutation and combination, any situation, it can never go. This one. I sleep at night, there is a night match is there, or something else is there important. So then people wake up, So that is also not a very absolute statement, So,
Time goes in one direction.
Time flows?
One direction. Truth.
Time flows in one direction. So this comes from the conception that in this world, everything is controlled by time. And in fact, Krishna also mentions in Bhagavad Gita, time I am, Kala Asmi, Kala Asmi, Loka Kshaya Krit Pravruddha, means I am the time who's the destroyer of these worlds. He's telling that time's job is what? To deteriorate things. Anything you just keep it, it deteriorates over a period of time, right? So, you might have studied about entropy. Huh? What is that law of entropy?
Entropy value is always increased.
What is that entropy?
And disorderness.
Disorderness. In any system, over a period of time, the disorderness will keep increasing. Right, so that's it's a principle of Bhagavad Gita actually. The Krishna says I am time. I am constantly destroying things. Which is there in this world. So we see that everything in the material world, even the concept of time. That is not an absolute truth. Time can act only within the jurisdiction of material universe. Time cannot control the spiritual world. Spiritual world is beyond the aspect of time. Time is a servant over there, and here time is an absolute entity. You cannot, if 5 minutes is passed, you cannot get back that time. But in spiritual world, it's not like that. The time assists the Lord in his activities. No, here we have to act according to the time. Their time assists the Lord in his activities. So, like, it is still not absolute. No, so the absolute truth is that which cannot be refuted, that which is ultimate, supremely independent, and things like that. So that Satyam Param, no, is defined in the first shloka of Srimad Bhagavatam. Sometime we will discuss that in detail. No. So that's a very philosophically quite packed, kind of a shloka. So which defines what it means to be an absolute truth. No, so Janma Adhyashyata, like no, it's is the source of creation, maintenance, and destruction. So and then Anvya Ditaratas Chartesha Abhijna Swarat. No, he is like completely independent, and everything that happens is directly or indirectly, has a source from him. No, he is the trigger point of all the actions that are happening everywhere, and he can put great people into illusion, and he can never be put into illusion, and all the knowledge comes from him. So Tene Brahma Hridayadi Kavaye Muhyanti Yat Suraya, like that. Very amazing definition of this absolute truth is there. So we see that this real truth means that is the supreme absolute truth, that is the supreme Lord. Only he can be called as the supreme absolute truth. So there are two things in any yoga system that is there. So one is that detachment from matter, which is false. Why we call this as false?
Temporary.
So matter is temporary. It is not. It is true to some extent, but it is not true always, right? So I am a male, right? So it is true till the time I die. After that, I don't know. The soul will take another body, and God knows, I become a dog or I become a cat or what. It is not an absolute truth, right? So matter, anything that is matter is false. False. Like in a absolute sense, it cannot be true for all the time. So develop detachment towards this false thing, and develop attachment towards the spirit, which is permanent, right? So that is the common principle of all the yoga systems. You take karma yoga, jnana yoga, dhyana yoga, whatever yoga you take, this is the common principle, right? So this Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Janayati Asu Vairagyam Jnanam Cha Yat Ahaitukam. So if you perform Bhakti Yoga, what you will get? Jnanam and Vairagyam. So that is the this one of Bhakti Yoga, and it is the same result in all the yoga systems. But the difference is what is the level of detachment and what is the level of attachment that you're going to get. What is the level of detachment that you're going to get from the matter, and what is the level of attachment that you're going to get towards the absolute truth. That's the difference between various yoga systems, right? And there are many other differences are there. So we will see that over a period of time, right? So this is a very, very basic definition that you become don't be affected by success and failure of this world. Be detached, right? So that's the first and primary, this one that has been mentioned. So if you see, this is in fact, first time we are getting introduced to this concept. So, but if you study Bhagavad Gita, right from the 2nd chapter till the 18th chapter, Krishna in one way or other, he touches this point. Give up attachment to the result. It is very obnoxious. Why obnoxious? Because it's if you want to build this building, how do you build this? How do you build this?
Make a plan.
We'll make a plan, and then you secure money for that, and then probably you'll employ some mesri and laborers, and then you will provide for the materials, and then they work hard and build. But who works hard to build this thing?
The workers.
The workers. So they have worked for it, then it should be their property, right?
Our resources. Our resources.
Resources are coming from you, right? So in the same way, Krishna gives the Panchabhuta, and we make different machineries, different amenities and things like that. And whom does it belong to?
Krishna.
It belongs to Krishna. And if I use this thing and perform some activities, perform some business, if there is some profit or loss, whom does it belong to?
Krishna.
It belongs to Krishna. So why are you taking tension? Right? So that's the basic principle here, that it is obnoxious to be attached to the result of your work because the result belongs to him. He has provided for all the necessary paraphernalia. And matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha, knowledge, remembrance and forgetfulness comes from me. Even the intelligence that I've used to do this work comes from him. तो सब कुछ उन्होंने दिया, लेकिन उसको result उनको जाएगा ना, like no, he will enjoy the result. So like whatever result comes, why are you getting agitated? No. So it's like you do your best work in your office, and then office makes a profit or loss. So how does it matter? Like no, you get your salary and you put your effort, right? So if you own the business, then you will feel the pain, right? So but otherwise you're just an employee, and then say okay, fine. The company takes a call that in this year we want to focus less on this business and more on this business. And even if this business makes a loss, it's okay. No, we want to focus more on something else. So as an employee, okay, fine, like whatever you decide. No, I'm just going to work. Like you just give me salary. That's all, right? So in this way, no, we see that this attachment to the result is obnoxious. And then Krishna mentions somewhere else, no, attachment to result is miserly. No, miserly means what? Stingy, no, कंजूस, no. ये तो बोलता ना, मक्खी चूस कंजूस ना. So miserly, why miserly?
Because it doesn't belong to us, but we have a tendency of like lording it over.
Doesn't belong to us, we have tendency to lord it over. That doesn't become the definition of miser, no. Miser means I have something, I don't want to give it to others, you know. So I don't want to spend, I don't want to give it to others.
Because he thinks it's his own. He thinks like that it's his own resources and not God.
So he is like, first of all, he has God's property, and then he doesn't share the results with anybody. No. So Krishna actually mentions, ideally all the results should be shared with him. Even if you are not sharing with the Lord, or even if you are not offering it to the Lord, Krishna finally in the 12th chapter he says, at least bare minimum do something to somebody. No, don't keep everything to yourself. You know, at least do something to somebody. Like in that way you will remain little bit pious. No, punyatma rahege, and then you can advance in, like later you can advance in bhakti. So ideal thing is that everything should be offered in the service of the Lord. And the basic rock bottom, like isse niche mat jao. No, basic like minimum pass mark to le lo. No, that is what, at least do something to somebody. No, don't keep everything to yourself. So that's the definition of miserly. Like that in different angles, Krishna actually tells. And in one place he says, if you're attached to the results, karma you have studied, right? Like do good work, bad work, and results apply to you. How does this result apply to you? Or how does this reaction actually comes to you? For that one basic thing you have to do. You have to be attached to the results of the work. Then the current of karma passes through you. So it is like, this is the connection that you have with this material world. Be detached from the results of your work. Krishna gives multiple different angles of explanation of why you should be detached from the results of your work, actually. So this is something that Krishna is telling. This is very, very basic definition of yoga that it starts with. Then later it will progress much more. So now with this definition, we will see different kinds of yoga systems that are there. So there are, one is sinful action. So yoga means what? It's in one sense, it is union with the Lord. It is, like the word of, we were talking about, it is the yoga means union. So in another sense, yoga means it's a way of performing our activities, right? So there is, one is the sinful action, that is not called a yoga at all. And then there is karma yoga is there in an inferior form, so which we will see in some time, which is called sa-kama. Sa-kama means what? Sa means along with. Sa means along with. Kama means?
Lust or
No. Kama means? No, common language. Karma means action. Kama means? Desire. Ichha. No, ichha ka kaam na bolte hai na. So ichha. So like desire. So sa-kama karma yoga means like I'm doing karma yoga with attachment to the results of my work. And the next superior form of karma yoga is nishkama. Nishkama means without attachment to the results. So I'm engaged in dharmic activities. So that's called nishkama karma yoga. That's superior. And then jnana, dhyana, and bhakti. These are all different yoga systems that are there. So now, before we get into these yoga systems, what are the destinations? If we follow this yoga system, what are we trying to achieve? In the last session, I think we discussed about this particular thing. What is the destination that we want to achieve?
Attachment to God.
Attachment to God. God, what all different ways you can get attached? What all different features of God are there?
His pastimes.
Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan.
That's a very important point. Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan. So these are the three different features of the Lord, no distinct features. And how do we differentiate between this Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan?
Sunrays.
Available destinations, we see that these three are there. Brahman means, like there is Sat, Chit, and Ananda, you have heard about, no? These three words. What is the meaning of these words?
Sat means eternal.
Sat means eternal, no, which is existing forever. And Chit means
All knowledge.
all knowledge. And Ananda,
All bliss.
all bliss. So the Brahman feature or the Lord's impersonal feature, it demonstrates the permanent aspect of the Lord. No, he is existing everywhere and he is indestructible. No, that feature is there. No, the Lord is present everywhere and he cannot be destroyed. So that is a Sat feature. And then Chit feature is knowledge. Knowledge means the Lord has, as we were telling that, Brahmayan sarva bhutani yantra rudani maya. So he directs the wanderings of all the living entities. Where which living entity will go, where which coronavirus will go, where which virus will go. Everything is perfectly directed by the Lord. So it is like knowledge aspect, knowledge and control of the universal affairs. That feature of the Lord is called as Sat and Chit. So that is Paramatma feature of the Lord. So he stays as Paramatma in the heart of every living entity, and he stays as Paramatma as in every single atom. And all the chemical bonding happens because of Paramatma. Nobody knows that. No chemist knows that. So they know, like, two chemicals, if you put it has some bonding. So but then how does this bonding work? Because of the existence of Paramatma, right? So that is Chit factor. And then Ananda factor is like the Lord who has the qualities. When we understand the qualities of the Lord, he is so merciful, he is so kind, he is so like magnanimous, and he is so beautiful. So many different features of the Lord. So all these things comes under the factor of Ananda, the bliss aspect. So the Lord can be understood only with Sat. He can be understood with Sat and Chit. He can be understood as Sat, Chit, and Ananda. All three factors put together. So this is the three different destinations that people may get following this yoga systems. The Supreme Absolute Truth, the destination of yoga, can also be perceived as Brahman, the impersonal light, Paramatma in every atom and also in the heart of every living entity, and the Supreme Person, Bhagavan, right? So who has very wonderful qualities, which attracts the hearts of the devotees, right? So now we see a major classification of the previously we saw the yoga systems, right? So what is the classification? If somebody acts against the scriptures, then it is called sinful action. So if somebody acts according to the scriptures, then it has to be one of these yoga systems. So either Sakama Karma Yoga or Nishkama Karma Yoga or Jnana Yoga or Dhyana Yoga or Bhakti Yoga, right? So till now, any questions?
Prabhuji, there's something called as Ashtanga Yoga also.
That's Dhyana Yoga.
Or same.
It's too much overload of information. No, it's okay? Okay. So, any other questions till this point? So, the standard is scripture, acting according to the scripture, becomes like a dharmic system. Acting against the scripture means it becomes adharmic. So, dharma and adharma, it is based on this principle. And astika and nastika, we tell, like astik and nastik. What is the difference between these two? Again, the same thing, acceptance of scripture. Somebody accepts the scripture is called astika, and somebody doesn't accept the scripture, he is called nastika. So another definition of astik and nastik is also about asti. Asti means it is there. So astik means one who says that there is this life after death exists. So he prefers working for something and get the results in the next life. No, such a person is called what? Astika. Asti. Like next life is there. So I'm going to work in this life and I'm going to get my results in the next life. So in the Karma Yoga, I'm going to do all activities according to scriptures, but I want heavenly planets. I'll go to heaven and enjoy. So what about enjoyment here? No, no, no. I don't want enjoyment here. I want to go to heaven and enjoy. So he's very clear. He wants the result in the next life, right? So and then Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, all of them, they actually desire this one on the next life. And the sinful activity means abhichaya result. I want to enjoy now. That is sinful activity, right? So piety or this one dharmic activity means I will do something, I will earn my piety, and then I will get whatever is desired for me, right? So just like a contemporary example. So a normal person, he would endeavor to get a job, nice job, by studying and endeavoring for getting a nice job and get salary. And with that salary, he will try to spend for himself. And a sinful person, what he will do?
He'll immediately spend it for sense.
Parents' money he will take loan, he'll steal. He'll do something, but I don't want to work, but simply I want enjoyment. So that is sinful, right? So here we see that the Lord has set up a system wherein like we put in our effort, we do some punya and we get some like results based on that, and you can encash that for happiness. So that is like a proper dharmic way of enjoyment. So against the scripture is immediate enjoyment, right? So this is one basic major classification. And now we see actions without regard to scripture is sinful action. And this is not part of the yoga ladder, but it defines actions that doesn't fit in the yoga ladder. Or maybe wondering like why this particular thing is there, if it is not part of the yoga ladder. So it's like a superset. Superset is like you are defining the yoga ladder, and whatever exception is there, so that is the sinful action. If you don't fit in any of the yoga systems, so then we are sinful. So then next is actions with regard to scriptures. That is like various yoga systems are there, part of this particular thing. The first one is the inferior form of karma yoga, so that is sakama karma. So acts according to scriptures and looking for one's own sense gratification in a dharmic way, and little desire for spiritual advancement. Very little desire for spiritual advancement is there. So but then like primary goal is that if you ask any karma yogi, what is your goal? I want to get a better enjoyment. I will do this punya. Why are you doing this charity work? Oh, I will get much more in return, in the future, right? So why are you helping this person? Oh, if I help this person, like, tomorrow somebody else will help me, right? So that means he's a karma yogi, like he's karma yogi not in stricter sense. So karma yogi means he should follow scriptures also, but we can get a resemblance of karma yoga from there. This is the way, like this is the common modus operandi they will work on. So I will do something and I will get something return, something good in return for me, right? So that is the materially, something good in return. So this is a very good thing. And what is the good thing about this karma yoga?
They follow scriptures.
Follow scriptures. That's the bare minimum thing that is coming inside. They follow scriptures. And what is the yoga at all? What is the thing that is actually, how we can call this as a yoga? They are just doing work for their happiness in the future. How we can call this as yoga? In what way they are connecting with the Lord?
They are following his instructions.
Yeah, the following of the scriptures is the only connection that they have, right? So they are not looking for the interest of the Lord, what the Lord wants. Let me try to do, what is his mission? Nothing of that sort. I want enjoyment, I want to get it. Tell me a legal means to attain happiness in this world, right? So that's their question. So then the scripture is brought into the picture. So when they follow the scriptures, because they are following the instructions of the Lord in the form of scriptures, they will become purified. And they will advance, in their consciousness, right? So that is this one. This happens, and connection with the Lord is the purifying factor. In any of the yoga systems, you see, how does the purification happens? There should be presence of the Lord in some form, no, in the yoga system. That is when the purification actually happens. Otherwise, no purification. He'll be stagnant. He will be, in the same place. So here, the connection with the Lord is in the form of following up the scriptural rules and regulations, right? So this is the starting point to start adhering to the principles of scriptures. So now, here we see a shloka in this regard from Bhagavad Gita. Yadrichaya chopapannam. No, you can repeat after me. Yadrichaya chopapannam. Swargadvaram apavritam. Sukinaha kshatriya partha. Labante yuddham idrisham. So Yadrichaya means what? By some good fortune, Yadrichaya, right? So, Chopapannam, even I don't know the meaning of it. And Swargadvaram, gateways to the heaven. Apavritam. Avritam means to cover. No, cover up. Apavritam means to uncover. No, like that. So, and Sukinaha is, you'll become happy. Who are those people who will become happy? Kshatriyaha. Like the kings, or the Kshatriyas. Partha is addressing to the Arjuna. And Labante Yuddham Idrisham. So Labante, labh hona, like, to get an opportunity for fighting. Yuddham Idrisham. So actually the Kshatriyas are like quite a different kind of people. Like normal people, like anybody lesser than Kshatriya, so they would fear if there is any challenge that is offered, if there is any difficult situation that is there and things like that. But then Kshatriyas are a different class of people. They like problems. They like to be in the midst of problems. And they like to fight and solve problems and stuff like that. One of the definitions that I got from one of the devotees is that a Kshatriya is a person, even if you keep 100 problems in front of him, he'll be completely peaceful. He will solve one by one, peacefully. He'll actually be in want of problems. Kuch to problem dije, like, I don't have any problem to solve. He'll be like in that kind of this one. So quite bravery, is one of the characteristics, and then Shaurya, heroism, is one of the characteristics of Kshatriya. And in fact, in the battle of Kurukshetra, there are many Kshatriyas all over India. Like, they were all over the world. They were actually trying to take part in the battle of Kurukshetra. And they all know who are going to fight in the battle of Kurukshetra? Pandavas and Kauravas. Amongst them, Bhima is there, Arjuna is there. And then on the opposite side, like Dushashan and this one, Duryodhan and all these people, Bhishma and Karna and like Dronacharya, it's like unimaginable battle. It is like putting so many atom bombs in one point. So it's going to be complete destruction. So many powerful people. It's like Arjuna's one name itself is there. His name is Bibhatsu. Bibhatsu means Bhayanak. So in the battlefield, if somebody sees Arjuna in the battlefield, he needs to be attacked. He will just pass to stool and urine and die there. So that is how Bhayanak these personalities were. So, and how are these Kshatriyas are like, some small time Kshatriyas, like, they are going to this battle knowing that big, like mountains are going to collide amongst each other. And, in that, like these small people are going like, what is this one? And they are, for sure, they know like they are not going to go back, So, but still, their interest is that if I have to die, I have to die in such a battle. That's, you cannot imagine the Kshatriya things like that. I have to meet a death like that. I have fought with Arjuna and Duryodhana and such people, and then amongst them I gave up my life. That's like real, good star in this one. People will talk about me. I have gone to such a battle, right? So, and if he comes back alive, like that's it. He's a great person. But then they would not fear death. Kshatriyas are not a people they would fear death. For them, like dying in the battlefield is so very auspicious. The two kinds of death is very, like, very much glorified in the scriptures. One is Kshatriya dying in the battlefield, not showing his back, fighting a battle and dying, he will attain heavens. And then another is a sadhu, who is practicing spiritual life, and then on his maturity of practice, he just dies. So these two are considered to be very glorious death, no, in the scriptures actually. So here we see that Krishna is mentioning to Arjuna. Again, it's there in the beginning of the second chapter. It's a very basic, this one that Krishna is mentioning. He is telling, happy are the Kshatriyas to whom such fighting opportunities come unsought. No, like you are a great Kshatriya, and even a small Kshatriya would be like very happy, like, no, there is an opportunity to fight. No, if I win, I'll get glory. If I die, I'll get heavenly planets. No, such a wonderful this one. So opening for them the doors of heavenly planets. No, why are you turning your back and not trying to go away? No, you should not be doing this, right? So like here, Krishna is emphasizing on which yoga? Sakama Karma Yoga, where you fight this battle, you will get heaven. No, you can enjoy, like Arjuna was putting this one, that what's the point of all this fight? No, I lose all my relatives, I lose, like opposite side is also my relatives and this side is also my relatives, I lose all of my people. So then to whom I am living for, and how will I get happiness? If I don't have my people with me, if I get the whole of the earth under my dominion, how will I enjoy with all these things? Then Krishna is telling, don't worry, like if you die here, like you go to the heavenly planets. Real enjoyment lies there. So like that, Krishna is actually lollipop dikha rahe, like fight karo, heaven milega tumko. So this is an enticement towards Sakama Karma Yoga, right? And then, okay, so Karma Yoga, there are two kinds of Karma Yogas there. Now, it inspires detachment from matter and attachment to spirit in a gradual way, right? So, as we discussed, these are the two parameters of all the yoga systems: detachment from matter and attachment to spirit, right? And then, Sakama Karma Yoga is just what we discussed till now. So, even though attachment to result is there, due to following scriptures, the practitioner develops detachment gradually. So like this, because of this purificatory factor. And what is this Sakama Karma Yoga means? Attached to performing dharmic work, work according to scriptures, and attached to the results of such work. These two things are there, then it is called Sakama. Like the qualifying statement is this, like attached to the result of work. That is the Sakama, along with the desire to enjoy the results of one's action, right? So that is why it's called Sakama Karma Yoga. And then Nishkama Karma Yoga is detached to results, detached from results, right? So it's a significant attachment, like as we were discussing that, Krishna speaks about that right from the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita till 18th chapter. In every single chapter he discusses about this. Be detached from the results of your work. That's not going to lead you anywhere. No good is going to happen to you if you are attached to the results of your work, right? And then be attached to the dharmic work. So now, here one important thing, any question that comes to you when we discuss about this, like be detached from the results?
Like sometimes you could get tempted to the result side if they're very...
That's okay. Like this whole proposition of being detached from the work, results of the work.
It is the first step towards this spiritual, because our heart will be purified. That is the first step to this.
Okay. Anything against this?
If you not work, then detachment will
like if you not work,
then there will be no attachment to the result.
ना रहेगा बस, ना बचेगा बस. So
one thing that others used to ask me was like, if you're detached to results, you might not have the inspiration to work.
This is a major question we face always. How many of you have this question? If I don't get salary, tomorrow your boss say like, no, you work, I'll not give you salary. Will you work? Your whole inspiration comes from that salary only. काम का तुम्हारे पास क्यों काम करूँगा? I'll go somewhere else. No, I'll get some good salary. Right? So, like, without result, what is the inspiration for work? What is the answer to this?
You should work as service to Lord, whatever karma we are doing.
But is it practical?
But it is the truth.
Truth, okay. Is it practical? Like, no, tomorrow your boss says, no, I'll not give you salary. You work.
Very difficult.
Huh? Impractical, है ना? ये yoga system सब.
But motivation also comes from purpose. What purpose we are doing from purpose as it.
So, like, this is our modern idea that if I work, like I have to work to get salary. no? And then, by the way, like I will enjoy. But what is the Vedic understanding?
It's work according to our nature.
Hmm.
Like whatever we are more good at.
Okay, anything else?
Like,
You have to learn the same thing you have to practice. Yeah. Krishna is maintainer of everyone.
Okay. What is the way of economy, Vedic economy? No, modern economy I described. No, you have to work or you do a business and then you make some profit or get salary and then that takes care of your livelihood. What is the Vedic economy?
What's the cause behind it?
Brahmana Kshatriya.
Huh?
You do your work, whatever.
Yeah. So you do your work, you get punya, and that punya will give the result of all the facilities. Janma, Aishwarya, Shruta, Shri. Like good birth and wealth and education or knowledge, and Shri is the beauty. These four things are results of the punya that you are doing. It's not the result of how much you earn, right? Like how much hard work you have put. Even now that principle works. It's not that modern economy has taken over, the Vedic economy is not working. Vedic economy is the underlying principle, it works all the time, right? So there are many success stories are there of great people. And then people read those success stories. And why they are not able to repeat those success stories? No, why people are not able to repeat the success stories? They read about Bill Gates, they read about who else is there, like major success stories, like how did they get to that level?
It could be that they had punya.
They had punya and they put effort. No, both the things are required. You should have punya and you should put effort. You will get the result. You don't have punya, you put this one, you will not get any result. No, you put endeavor, you will not get any result. So in the Vedic times, they were clear, very, very clear. What is dharma? I must perform. Immediately I am going to meet with the loss, no problem. No, I will never stray from the path of dharma. I will always follow the path of dharma, because if I follow dharma, I will get punya, and by that punya, I will get something good. Right? So if I do my work nicely, then I'll get salary and I'll enjoy. No, that's the modern economy. And Vedic economy is you do dharmic work and you'll get punya, and that punya will give rise to good results. And right now I'm suffering. What is the solution for it? No, right now I'm suffering. You're talking about you do punya now and then you'll get some like dharmic work now, you'll get some punya and you'll enjoy later. But now I'm suffering. What is the solution for that? What is the solution for that?
Approach lotus feet right now.
No logical solution. Can it be mitigated?
Previous karma.
Yeah, it is. I am suffering or enjoying the results of the past karma. No, now I am trying to adjust that and manipulate that and change that. It's not going to work, right? So it's a very sensitive topic, actually, very important topic. No, like just somebody has defaulted in his work or something like that, and he has not performed his work well, and then something is being deducted from the salary, right? And then on the day of salary, the accountant is dispersing the money to him, and the employee is like fighting with the accountant. No, give me little more. And the accountant is telling like, no, jitna sanction hua, no, utna hi de sakta hai. How much is in sanction? Only that much I can give. No, like, okay, you do some adjustment. Like, you did work like that, such a sloppy work, and for that this much has been sanctioned. So now you do nice work. No, next month you'll get some good salary, right? So that's the way it is, right? And because of that, if I get some disease, if I get some distress, will I not work up on that? I should just simply tolerate.
Like you can put some effort to cure the disease.
Why should I put? Just now we saw like, no, it should be tolerated. What should I do? Corona lag gaya to like aise bed pe pada rehna hai. No, we should not go to the hospital.
Like you should work so that your body and soul is together.
See, the thing is, the suffering or happiness comes because of my past karma. But right now, I have this body, which is a property of the Lord. I have to take care of it, right? And then I have to do basic minimal thing, to take care of this existence. I have my dharma towards this body. So if I have been given a body, I cannot just be neglectful. No, this is like, if you have given an office vehicle, No, and then you'll have to take care of the vehicle because it belongs to the office. In the same way, like it is a body given by the Lord, you have to take care of it. Any situation that happens, dharmically, what needs to be done, that has to be done. So that minimal endeavor has to be taken to keep things in good condition, right? So that endeavor has to be put. It should not become over endeavor. So if it doesn't happen with the basic minimal endeavor, that means karma mein nahi hai. This is how it will be, like that. So that's the definition of endeavor. And in the Vedic times, people used to be more focused on quality of work. This is my dharma. I have to do this work, properly. And what about the result? Immediate result? No, I am not interested in the result. Why you are not interested in the result? Because I worked for it long back. Even if I am interested, I will not be able to change it. No. And then whom does this result belong to? It belongs to the Lord. I should not be touched. So like that, many different reasons are there why I should not be attached to the results. So one of the reasons is that I have already worked for it. Like now I cannot change that thing, right? So I have only things in control which is going to come in the future. So I will do some good work and I'll anticipate a good result in the future, right? So like that.
How to assess the how much minimal endeavor is to for any
So it should not be disturbing the like other essential aspects of life. So life's purpose should not be disturbed. Then it can be called as the minimal endeavor. So if that endeavor goes so much that life's purpose itself is defeated, so then it is over endeavor. Right. So what is the minimal endeavor for eating?
Eat sufficiently so the belly.
What is the minimal endeavor for eating?
Eat the food in your mouth.
No. In the process of the whole process of eating,
Eating to get the energy to the body.
if you eat less, Krishna mentions this particular thing. One who eats more or one who eats less cannot be a yogi. Samatvam yoga yuchate, like just now we saw that if you eat less, what will happen? You will not get sufficient nourishment, you will be weak and things like that. If you eat more, what will happen? Again, you will become very very dull and weak. Why? Because the body has a capacity to digest a certain amount of food. If you put more than that, so it will go overload and then the system will crash. It will not be able to function properly, right? So that's a important point. Like in the same way, work, recreation, everything, we have to do it at a optimal level. If you do more, you will not be able to sustain. If you do less, you will not be able to sustain, right? So everything in this world is of balance. So we are peacefully sitting because sun is in balance. Usi orbit mein chalti hai. If it goes little bit here or there, it's gone. If it comes little this side, it may get attracted by the gravitational pull, and we'll all be burnt. If it goes little that side,
we might completely more.
I know it will go out of the control of the gravitational pull or something like that, and then you will not have the vitamin D. मर जाएंगे. Fast में आए तो मर जाएंगे, दूर में जाएंगे तो मर जाएंगे. No, it is there in the right border, and we are able to get benefit of it, right? So in the same way, everything has a balance in the material world. Nothing can be overdone, nothing can be underdone, right? So that balance needs to be understood. Anything else in this topic?
Probably this overdone and underdone, does it apply to our spiritual practices as well?
Spiritual practices is it applies also. So spiritual practices, we have to become completely spiritual because that is our real identity. So but then we have a level of advancement. It's a completely different topic. I'll just give a little brief about it. In the scriptures, there is a nice shloka which talks about bhakti, paresha anubhava virakti, anyatra traisha trika eka khala, prapadyamanasya yatashnatashus, tushti pushti shudapayo nudasha. So this example, nice example is given. Tushti pushti shudapaya. Tushti means what? Satisfaction. Pushti? Pushti. Nourishment.
Yeah.
Pushti and Shuddhapaya is reduction of hunger. So in the process of eating, three things happens. So one is satisfaction I get, and then I get nourishment, I get energy, and then third thing is hunger gets reduced. And when these three things happen, these three things simultaneously and progressively happens. Now, if I'm hungry, it's not that after I finish the plate, suddenly the hunger reduces. No. Every morsel of food, anugasa, with every morsel of food that I take, progressively and gradually, I get satisfaction, I get more satisfaction, and I get more nourishment, and I get better relief from the hunger. So in the same way, bhakti, devotion to the Lord, paresha anubhava, direct experience of the Lord, and then virakti, detached from this material world. All these three things simultaneously and progressively it happens, right? So now I have advanced in my bhakti to a certain level, and then I try to act like a very great sannyasi, completely detached from the world. I will not have any enjoyment of this world. It's imbalance. It will not sustain. It will topple off, right? So it's maybe like jitna adhikar hai, how much is our adhikar? That much we have to do our bhakti. And as we advance, our adhikar increases. Right? So to that is one regulatory, this one is there. But otherwise, bhakti in general is called, we are expected to do more. We are expected to advance in bhakti. Why we are supposed to advance in bhakti? That's the purpose of life. Anything else?
And there is no time. There is no time. Like tomorrow could be our last day.
That's okay. Why at all? First of all, if I don't know why, then you tell deadline is there, I have to get it done. So deadline छोड़ो, the क्यों करना है वो बताओ, करना ही नहीं है हमको. So I don't even want to do, why are you talking about deadline, right?
Get out of the vicious circle of
Birth and death, and this is our original occupation. We are spirit souls, part and parcel of the Lord. And our original condition is we are residents of Vaikuntha, and our original, this one is spiritual activity. We are spirit, and our actions are also on the realm of spirit. We are not matter. This body is matter, and I am not this body. So why should I do material activities? I'm a spirit. I should be doing spiritual activities, right? So if I'm a scientist, I should be doing scientific activities. If I'm an economist, then I should do economical activities, right? So if I'm a barber, I should be doing hair cutting and stuff like that, right? So I am a spirit soul. Why should I be doing material activities? Because I wrongly believe that I am this matter, I'm engaged in this material activities. So when I get self-realization, when I understand that I don't have anything to do with this matter, I am spirit soul and I should be engaged in spiritual activity. So that's the proper this one. So that's where I have to go to. That's the reality. And why then, okay, matter, I'm not this matter, then immediately give up this matter. Why we are balance karo, dire dire chodo. Why we have to tell all these things? Because so much we are accustomed to this. Our mind is tuned to this. If you say no material enjoyment, we'll go crazy. We'll not be able to handle that thing. We are in a certain level of advancement. Okay, this much material enjoyment is needed for this person. He has to, otherwise he cannot function. This is the petrol. Unka chahiye, without that he cannot function actually. Right? So that is how the advancement actually happens. So we cannot do disproportionate devotional service. Whatever is our level, we should do according to that. So suddenly, we see some sannyasi comes and then, oh, he's renounced person. I'll also give up everything and become like him. And 2 din udhar rahenge aur teesra din nahi mujhe wo chahiye. And again he comes back. So in fact, Arjuna is telling to Krishna, I want to give up all these things. I don't want to fight with my relatives. I'll go and become sannyasi. I'll give up all the work. Krishna is telling this is not the reason for which to take sannyas. You say I don't want to have suffering. I'll go and take sannyas. A person who's taking sannyas should be, whether suffering comes or happiness comes, he should not be disturbed by that. Then he can take sannyas. If he's disturbed so much, what the hell he will do in sannyas ashram? he'll immediately run back to this world. He will not be able to sustain. So sometimes people also have this fear. Oh, this ISKCON people will make everybody as sannyasis. What do they think? Becoming sannyasi is a joke or what? It's the most difficult thing in this world to do, and it's no, sabka vas ka nahi hai. No, it is not possible for everybody, right? So it is the, like, Krishna is directly criticizing Arjuna that you're so much attached to, you know, losing your relatives. How can you be a sannyasi? No, you cannot be a sannyasi. Fight. No, no, he mentions that thing, right? So, anyways, no, did I answer the question?
Yes.
Huh? Okay. So, shall we progress? No, I'm here. So this is the Sakama and Nishkama. So this is Sakama means like both attachment to the dharmic work and attachment to the result of the work. And Nishkama Karma Yoga means attachment only to perform dharmic work and not having attachment to the result, right? So we see another sloka which is exemplify, or which is actually talking about this Nishkama Karma. Esvendriyani manasa Niyam yar bahat hai Arjuna Karmendriya hi karma yogam Asaktah sa vishishyate. On the other hand, if a sincere person tries to control the active senses by the mind and begins karma yoga in Krishna consciousness without attachment, he is by far superior. Right? So he's telling that if you do your work without attachment, so it's a superior kind of a work, right? And then sukha dukkhe same kritva labha alabha jaya jayo tato yuddhaya yujyasva naiva papam avapsyasi. See, sukha dukkha same kritva. No, happiness and distress. No, you should view in the same level. And labha and alabha, profit and loss, and jaya and ajaya. No, like success and failure, right? So he's mentioning do thou fight for the sake of fighting, without considering happiness or distress, loss or gain, victory or defeat, and by so doing you shall never incur sin, right? So don't be attached. So this is the point I was mentioning. Just be detached from the result of your work. No, sin will not touch you. No, so Krishna is mentioning. And one more precondition is that we should do our prescribed duty, what we are supposed to do, and then not be attached to the result of the work. Sin cannot touch us, right? So the Karma Yoga is like basic development of detachment is coming gradually. How this detachment comes? How somebody can practice Nishkama Karma Yoga? First he should perform Sakama Karma Yoga, and because he is following the scriptures, purification happens. And the first symptom of purification of heart is what? He feels detached from the results of his work. So that's the first symptom of purification of heart. If somebody is progressing in his path of yoga system, any of the yoga systems for that matter, what is a sign of his purification? Is that he becomes, first sign of purification is he becomes detached from the results of his work. No, that's the first sign of purification, right? So it's a very important, this one, like, no, the steps, the ladder we are talking about. What are the steps? The first step is detachment from the results, of the action, like that happens. The first step, in fact, is following the scriptures, and second step is detachment from the results of one's action, right? And previously you was telling the same thing. No, you fight. No, you'll get heaven. And now Krishna is telling, no, don't worry about you get heaven or hell. No, whatever it is. You are a Kshatriya, you're supposed to fight, and it's a Dharma Yuddha, and it's your duty. Like, no, just do your duty. So this is an instruction if on a little higher level. So it is. So this is how the yoga ladder actually progresses, right? So then next comes is the Jnana Yoga. So the Jnana Yoga is when we perform action, there is a chance of performing some mistakes. So better avoid action. No, वो बोला था ना, like Prabhuji, ना रहेगा बांस, ना बजेगा बांसुरी. No, so like if there is some action only, there is question of some reaction. No, just don't do any action at all. No, so then that is called Jnana Yoga. So generally, who are the Jnana Yogis? What profession they will be doing, Jnana Yogis?
Like contemplating.
Huh?
Contemplating,
meditation.
meditating in the forest.
Okay, which all the ashrams, brahmachari, grahastha, vanaprastha, sannyas, in which all ashrams we can perform Jnana Yoga?
Vanaprastha and sannyas.
Yeah, you have to be renounced. पहले संसार में नहीं रह सकते. ज्ञान योग करना है, like if you have to do ज्ञान yoga, you have to give up this world. no, and then go to the forest. That's the only way. There is no other way to perform Jnana Yoga, because otherwise you have to do some work. If you do work against scriptures, it becomes sinful. If you do work according to the scriptures, still there is some chance of getting some reactions. Better give up all the work, you know. So this is what like Arjuna was trying to do. He was trying to follow this path, that why fight this battle? This dharma, following dharma, like okay, you are telling that sin will not touch you if I just fight for the sake of fighting and things like that. But it's so much of pain. I have to kill my relatives. If this is the sort of duty I have to do, better I'll give up all the duty. I'll become a sannyasi. So like he does this thing. So and Krishna says like, no, Jnana Yoga, you cannot go like that. First you have to do sakama karma, and then you have to become purified a little bit, and then you should get the result of that purification, that is natural detachment from the results of your work. And then like with that, you are still attached to the dharmic work you perform, and then you come to a good level of advancement, and you feel that I don't have anything to do in this world. I am a spirit soul. I should be contemplating and I should be working for advancement of my spiritual this one. So that's a natural awakening has to come. Without that, like it is not that like okay, can I join medical or engineering or commerce, things like that. It's not a choice like that. Nobody can get lateral entry into Jnana Yoga. It's not possible. He has to become purified by the other yoga systems, karma yoga system, then he can actually come to the Jnana Yoga. Otherwise he cannot. So nobody can enter into this thing. But anyways, as a subject matter, we'll just study this thing. So material actions performed is in the three modes of nature. So why do any action at all? So two things that are encouraged are knowledge and analysis based on that, and then inaction. So same principle that we discussed before, jnana and vairagya, right? So like detachment to the matter and attachment to the spirit. So in the Jnana Yoga, there is quite a lot of detachment from matter and a little bit of awakening of attachment to the spirit has come, right? So that's the this one of Jnana Yoga. In Sakama Karma Yoga, there's so much of attachment to the matter, and then very, very little spiritual spark is there. And Nishkama, a little more detachment, and then a little more attachment to the spirit has come. In the Jnana Yoga, quite a significant detachment from the matter is there, right? And then a little bit of attachment to the spirit is there, right? So this is how the ladder actually progresses. These two parameters are the deciding factors, right? So Jnana and Vairagya. So detachment from the matter and attachment to the spirit, right? So action performed in the three modes of nature, and you don't have any role to play anyways, so you can just try to get out of it. So that's based on realization. So a person actually goes here. So there is a nice shloka which is there here. Abhyaktadhini bhutani vyakta madhyani bharata abhyakta nidananyeva tatra kha paridevana. Right? So all created beings are unmanifest in their beginning. Abhyaktadini bhutani. Bhutani is like living entities. Abhyakta means unmanifested. And vyakta madhyani bharata. So in the middle, they middle period, they get the bodies. Before you took birth, you were a spirit soul without any body. And then in the middle time, you get the body and you function. And at the end, avyakta nidananyeva. Again you die. You leave your body. So tatra ka paridevana. So all created beings are manifest in their beginning, manifest in their interim state, unmanifest in their beginning, manifest in the interim state, and unmanifest again when annihilated. So what need is there for lamentation? So this is kind of the subject of Jnana Yoga. So the analysis between body and soul, and anytime. So this is quite an amazing thing. How does Krishna brings about detachment in Arjuna's heart? He's so much attached to his relatives. He's crying, I'll not fight this battle and things like that. The first thing is, Krishna wants to bring about some detachment in the heart of Arjuna.
So some attractive results like...
No. He's doing this particular thing, what is mentioned here. Some elements of Jnana Yoga he actually uses.
He explains that their bodies are temporary but souls are permanent. So you are not actually killing them.
He actually starts analyzing matter and spirit. more you analyze matter and spirit, more you'll get detached to matter and more you'll get attached to the spirit. So this analysis, I actually made one more principle out of this thing. In any relationship, if you want to be happy, you should never analyze the relationship. If you come to the point, you did this thing, this is wrong, on this day you did like this, on this day you did like this. When you start analyzing in the relationship, that means you are ready to break up. You're ready to cut the whole this one, right? So like this is the thing, when we actually anything matter, when it is analyzed, so it becomes bitter. And anything spirit, when it is analyzed, you will develop attachment to it, because it is naturally very wonderful, and matter is naturally very not very good. Right? So when you analyze, you develop detachment, right? So analysis gives rise to detachment. So Krishna actually makes this point, like he brings in the whole this one. He doesn't talk about anything personal, anything this one. First thing that he starts, the first instruction of Bhagavad Gita, when Krishna beginning to speak, is the topic of body and soul. So when he speaks this, he is able to trigger some level of detachment in the heart of Arjuna, right? So this is the reality, Arjuna. You see, like this matter is like this and spirit is like this, and spirit is what actually matters. Matter doesn't matter. Like that. So Krishna is actually giving this whole point, and then that actually inspires Arjuna to develop some level of detachment, right? So Jnana Yoga, like by analysis, like analysis of what are they going to analyze?
Matter and spirit.
Matter and spirit. So more time in the Jnana Yoga is spent in actually this is matter, you should not be associating with this. This is matter, you should not be associating with this. Like more time is spent on understanding what is not spirit. What is non-spirit, and then they try to avoid that. So in the further yoga systems, like we will see that more meditation is there on the real aspect, that is concentration on the spirit, like that increases. In the Dhyana Yoga, there is active meditation on the Paramatma. In the Bhakti Yoga, there is supermost meditation on the Supreme Lord, like we sing his names, we chant his names, we eat his prasadam, and we discuss his pastimes, we discuss his teachings and things like that. So much of meditation on the Lord, the Supreme Spirit is there, right? So now you see the gradual transition that is happening. So whole matter is there. Okay, at least include little bit of spirit. What is a little bit of spirit in Karma Yoga?
Following the scriptures.
Following the scriptures. At least thoda sa like ये flavor ले लो, पूरा like you have your material desires, you like have your desire to go to the heavenly planets, you all enjoyment will be guaranteed in your life. Just thoda sa dharma ka marg mein chalo, like don't do some adharmic activity, don't like do daku chori and things like that. Be a like legal person, follow dharma, follow the scripture, that much you do, and that gives rise to purification of heart, and that gives rise to a little bit of detachment from the results of work. So that's the first sign of purification of heart that is seen. So then next comes this the Nishkama Karma Yoga, right? So then in the Nishkama Karma Yoga, what is happening? Because he's again following the scriptures. Karma means actions according to scriptures. He's following the scriptures, and then he is detached from the results of his activities. His advancement becomes very fast. Like the moment you give up the live wire of attachment to the results of your activities, immediately you make so much of advancement, and you cannot, the choice is not in your hand. So internally you have to become purified. It's not like externally, like in today's class we understood we should not be attached to the results. Tomorrow onwards I'll not be attached to the results. Kuch nahi hone wala hai. Internal purification of heart has to happen, and then the external symptoms will happen, right? So now you see like something is shown on the screen. Can I use my hand and change this? No. Some program is running here, and that is showing this thing. Right? In the same way, like we have to work on the program. Like what is running over here. If you alter that, this will change. State change, right? So like like if you alter the heart, then the result will change. The kind of work that you will do, that will change, right? So the real thing is purification of heart. That has to happen. And how does the purification happens? by the association of the Lord, no, by the scriptures, by chanting his names, no, by having prasadam, by studying, no, like scriptures and things like that. So coming like this satsang programs and things like that. So these things actually purify our heart, and the result is seen that we become, no, detached to this world and attached to the spirit. No, these two things will happen. Right? Any questions?
Prabhuji, our past punya will affect our next year. So if our past punya is totally nil and we are working hard in this life, so what should we do in the material world? For advancement in spiritual, there's Bhakti Yoga, but for in material advancement, so what should we do?
See, material advancement, one thing, basic thing we have to understand is, it is not there in my hands. And I can only do, so it is just like I gave the example of this one. So if somebody has done a very bad work, no, and then no salary mein kuch cut ho gaya. So now he is in need of money. What should he do? No. So he should tolerate, no, for 1 month, somehow he should adjust and then perform well, no, then anticipate a good salary.
So hard work will be.
So hard work, nahi, dharmic work is required. So in the material, this one, we see that hard work brings more money. No, that's the equation they put. But then they are not able to prove that equation all the time. You know. So in that way, like the coolie in this one, a labor, he does much more hard work than another person, and then he gets a meager wages. And a person who is like comfortably sitting in the AC and like probably like वो boss को बटा लिया and things like that, उसको अच्छा पैसा मिल रहा है, right? So how do you quantify hard work? No, that cannot always be proven true. Hard work is directly proportional to the money that you get, right? So it is the karma, the punya is directly proportional to the material success that you get. Right? So if it is not happening even after the basic trying and things like that, there's no point in putting over and over there. Right? So it's like an empty husk. In the scriptures, this example is given. The rice paddy is there, no? So if all that is removed, no, rice is removed, the paddy is there. So if you still beat that, will you get any result out of it? No, you will not get anything, because जो जितना मिलना है मिल गया, उससे ज़्यादा नहीं मिलेगा. Tolerate. That's why Krishna, in second chapter, he is telling that what is that verse of tolerance? No. Wait. No, after that, he mentions that just tolerate. No. Tam titikshva bharata. What is the next one? Matra sparshastu kaunteya sitoshana sukha dukkada agama paino anitya sam titikshva bharata. Right? So he is telling that matra sparshastu kaunteya, like sita ushna, sukha dukkada, like the activities of the material world can never be balanced. All the time you would have done something good, you would have done something bad. It's never in your control. And then the happiness and distress will constantly keep coming. Just like changing of summer and winter seasons. You don't have control. No, I want winter all the time, or I want summer all the time. I don't have control. Seasons change, and the season which I don't like comes, I just have to tolerate. And just allow, it will go. And Krishna says, like, if there is some difficulty that comes, just tolerate, it will go. And if there is some happiness, just give some time, it will also go. It will also not be there. Right? So just tolerate both the things, happiness and distress. No, okay, I can understand I should tolerate distress. Why should I tolerate happiness? I should just enjoy happiness, right? Why should I tolerate happiness?
We forget the purpose of life.
Yeah, if I start enjoying the happiness, then I'll just get some hope in this material world, and the next thing that's going to come is distress, and I'll get depressed. So Krishna is saying, like, no, just be aware. This place is not all that good. It's happiness and distress is going to come. Learn to tolerate. First, one of the very, very first, this ones, even before telling the concept of body and soul, Krishna is telling this is the principle, Arjuna. Like in this world, if you want to sustain, learn to tolerate. No, that's a very, very basic, this one, no, that Krishna is actually mentioning. Right? So we have to endeavor and see, like, if it works, it works. If it doesn't work, like, it doesn't, it's not there in my system. And one more important point, if it is not there in my system, I do an over endeavor and I manage to get something into the system, right? So I'm not supposed to get so much of wealth. My life is not programmed for that much of wealth, right? So I over endeavor and I get some wealth into the system. It'll just confuse the whole plan of my life. Everything will go topsy-turvy. If I'm supposed to get a medium amount of money, that is what will help me to go ahead, right? So I just share personal this one. So I was just eating like everybody is eating normally, like morning, afternoon, evening. And then recently I had gone to, a few months back, I had gone to my Ayurvedic doctor, and I've been taking treatment for some time. So because of little bit of lack of energy and stuff like that and all. So I was like very proud, like, now I'm a spiritual practitioner, I'm a practitioner of Bhakti Yoga and things like that. On the other hand, like, no, I'm not having so much of agility and energy and stuff like that. So then the doctor checked the pulse and they told, like, no, in your body there is so much of mala is there. So then, okay, like, what should I do? Like, then we have to do a purging process. No, we have to take out everything. So then they recommended Panchakarma. So then it was just before the marathon starting. So then I thought, like, no, Abhi, if I go for 1 week, I have to go, and then after that also I'll have some weakness to recover and things like that. So then I told, is there any other way? So then the doctor told, like, no, you can be there in fruit diet for 1 week. Okay, no, ye to ho jayega. So fruit diet, I was there, it's quite difficult, but then a lot of purging happened. So then after that, after a week, I asked, what should I do? And then the doctor told, like, no, you add some grains. No, that's like gradually will increase. So when I started taking grains in the afternoon, so that time I felt I'm having full energy, and like, I'm not tired and things like that. So again, I spoke to the doctor, like, no, I'm feeling this is a very good, this one, morning, evening, no fruits or vegetables is okay, and afternoon grains, it's perfect. And then the doctor told, see, your Prakriti can only handle this much of food. Beyond this, if you put, you will only become weak. So it is not the problem of the system. The system is designed for a certain amount of food, and you can only handle this much of food. And if you eat this much, you will be active. If you eat more, you will be tired, and if you eat less, you will be tired. Right? So it helped me, like, when it is like fully brought down, and then it was raised. So then I could able to see what is the level at which I'll be active, right? So before that, like, I used to have a lot of day sleep and so much tiredness and things like that and all. So now after this adjustment, like, become all the medicine stopped, and everything is done. Right? So this, like, if I see, like, okay, like, rest everybody are eating nicely, like, no, why should I not eat? No, औकात नहीं है, उतना नहीं खा सकते. So that's the point, like, so beyond that you have to tolerate. Your life is designed for a certain thing, and that much you'll be happy. Beyond that you'll not be happy. Lesser than that you'll not be happy. Yes, please.
Absolutely, like you said, like, suppose if I'm a student and naturally there is some attachment towards results. So what I must focus is not about detachment, but rather purification of my consciousness.
So this is another thing. As a student, you have attachment to the results, getting good marks. So if you forget about getting good marks, and if you focus on the quality of your preparation, will you get bad marks?
No.
Definitely you'll get good marks, right? So on the contrary, if you are attached to the results and always thinking what results will come, if I get this result, what will I do? If I get this result, what will I do? So my essential space for preparation, or my intellectual space for preparation, is used on a useless analysis, and that is going to reduce my quality of preparation, and that's going to reduce my result also, right? So actually attachment to the result is going to reduce the result, and detachment from the result will naturally enhance the result.
Usually I see it like about 1 hour before the exam, people talk about how much you're going to get in 220, 250 or 250. And after the exam also they call, I should have gotten 250, but I'm only getting 200.
Yeah.
And like that.
If you see the intellectual students, they will not bother about how much they have prepared, how much they have not prepared. They'll be bothered about, oh, this concept, like everything is there, and even this concept is not known also. It will come in some optional question and we can leave it, but they cannot tolerate, like, this concept I don't know. I have to know this concept. That's like the intellectual students will have that kind of an urge, so I want to know everything, like that. So they'll not bother about marks, and they'll get marks all the time. Those are bothered about marks, they struggle to get marks, like that. Any other question?
The law of attraction, manifestation, is that true?
Law of attraction is what?
Law of attraction, like you tell something and it happens. Like manifestation. Manifestation things, like you write it down or you speak or you keep on thinking or keep on.
Okay, I'll tell one more aspect of it. So, like hard work, you mentioned, right? There are some people, some motivational speakers, they tell, if you do hard work, you'll get result. This is like, if you desire, you'll get results. If you desire something, strongly, you believe in it, you'll get that result, right? So I'll tell you from where all these things are coming. Now in Bhagavad Gita, I think in the previous sessions also, in some time we have discussed the shloka. Adhishtanam tata karta karanam cha pratak vidam vividam sa pratak cheshta daivam chevetra panchamam, right? So this are the 5 factors for any action to perform. Any action to happen, these 5 factors should be there. Adhishtanam, this is the place of action, that is generally the body. And then karta is the soul. Soul means, what is the role of the soul? The role of the soul is to desire. Icha, like what point you were mentioning, you write out your desire, or you speak your desire, or you have a strong desire, action will happen. Undoubtedly, this is one of the factors of action, but this is not the only factor of action, right? So this is not the only 5 factors are there, right? So, and some philosophers come up with saying that, Vidam Sapratak Cheshta, you put nice endeavor, hard work, you will get the result. That's also not wrong, but it is not completely correct also, because the endeavor, hard work is not the only factor of action. There is other things are also there, right? And then finally, there is a trump card is there. What is the final trump card?
Sanction of those.
Daivam, Supreme Lord sanction. जितना भी endeavor करो, जितना भी desire रखो, भगवान sanction नहीं करेंगे, कुछ नहीं होगा. And so all these things put together, it works. Any action that actually happens. Yes.
Human beings are not body or mind, they are spirit souls. So, is it not possible, like so many scientific researchers are there, and scientists are not able to prove that the soul is present, and apart from spiritual experiences, it will be impossible to measure with this material things which are there, that soul is present or not present.
This is a very, very interesting and very nice philosophical question. That soul is there, we are talking about, all our classes we are talking about body, soul and stuff like that. And scientists are going very deep into their research. They're going to the level of atoms, they're going like dissecting, bisecting everything, and then they're analyzing every aspect of the creation. Why they are not able to find the soul? Forget about super soul. Why they are not able to even find the soul? It's a very interesting thing. There's, I'll just give a brief about the kind of philosophies that exist. So the atheistic philosophy, like just before going into the philosophical, this one, what all things are there? We have to understand what all things are present in the whole creation. So there are Panchabhutas are there: earth, water, fire, air, ether. Right. So then after that, the scriptures actually talk about 5 karma indriyas, and 5 jnana indriyas. What are the jnana indriyas? Knowledge acquiring senses. What are the knowledge acquiring senses? Eyes. Through eyes, I can acquire the knowledge of vision. I can see things and acquire some knowledge. And nose, I can smell things and acquire knowledge. And then tongue, I can taste things and acquire knowledge. I can tell it is sweet or bitter or sour and things like that. Ear, right? So this 5 jnana indriyas are there and 5 karma indriyas. If you have to do a work, how will you do a work? Hands. Through hands you can do work, and through legs you can do work, and then through speech, through speech you can do work, and then anus and genitals. These are the 5 karma indriyas, 5 ways you can potentially do some work through this one. So now kitna ho gaya abhi? 5 sense, 5 this one material elements, No, 5 Jnanendriyas, 5 Karmendriyas. How much it is?
10.
Like 5 Panchabhutas, 5 Jnanendriyas, 5 Karmendriyas, 15. And then another 5 is the 5 sense objects. For eyes, the vision. For nose, the smell. For tongue, the taste. No, for ear, the sound. So all this one sense objects, if you put, 5 Jnanendriyas will have 5 objects, of it. So that becomes 20. Then after that, mind, intelligence, and false ego, 23. Then after that, there is soul, and then the super soul. So this is what, kitna ho gaya? 25. No, this is what is there, everything that is there in the whole of the creation. Isse badkar kuch nahi hai. So now science is able to work till where here? It is able to work till, somewhat mind. Like intelligence, mind and intelligence. That's all. False ego also, they don't understand so much. And these days, like, some kind of, this ones are coming like counseling and stuff like that and all. So that's to some level, like, addressing the personality of somebody. So, like, they don't have any clue about soul and the super soul. So, like, why is it so? Why this is, all these elements are there, and they're able to see that only with this, it is not possible to conclude, because there is some active principle is there. There is some, like, the people are able to think themselves, and they are come up with some desires and things like that and all. So matter can never desire. So what is this entity? They are also confused. They are confused, but they are not able to understand. But why they cannot come to this conclusion? Why they cannot just take scriptural books and understand and things like that? Because this requires mercy of the Lord. Without having the mercy of the Lord, how much ever you try, bang against this one, like analysis and things like that, you can never come to the conclusion that soul and the super soul exist. It's not by, like Krishna mentions, Naham Prakasha Sarvasya. I don't, Prakasha means what? Manifest or show myself up and things like that. Na aham Prakasha Sarvasya. I don't reveal myself to everybody. Yoga Maya Samavrita. So this is the illusory potency of the Lord. Now we can actually appreciate the illusory potency of the Lord, the Maya. We are in the control of Maya. We cannot control Maya. Right? So this is how the philosophical progression also happens. The scientific philosophy is called the atheistic philosophy. And they can never understand what is soul and super soul. Right? And then they try to see that this material nature as something that I can manipulate. Oh, this natural resources are there. Just utilize the natural resources, extract the metals from it, and then do machineries and do all sort of amenities and things like that. And we can manipulate the material nature. And suddenly some tsunami comes. Oh, I cannot handle this. And suddenly some coronavirus comes. Oh, this is beyond this. And like all of the coronavirus in the whole of the world put together is not even 1 milligram. And that shook the whole world. It's like, what's the thing going on? Like, we thought that we are absolutely in control of matter, and some bouncer comes and like, it's just beyond my control. Right? So then people come to the level of understanding that this material nature is beyond my control. I cannot manipulate the material nature. Material nature is beyond my control. It's superior to me. Right? So Krishna mentions that, like, Daivi Esha Gunamayi, Mama Maya Duratyaya. So this material nature is Daivi Esha Gunamayi. It is born out of me. I am the source of this material nature. And Maya Adhyakshena Prakriti. He says like, Maya Adhyakshena. Adhyaksha means? Adhyaksha means what?
President.
No. Controller. Adhyaksha means president or controller, something like that. Maya Adhyakshena Prakriti. This Prakriti, material nature, I control. You don't try to control. You cannot control it. It is controlled by me. Right? So that point of philosophical progression comes. So then, like, some level of awakening comes. Then people come to that level that, okay, this material nature is more powerful. I cannot control the material nature. So then that philosophy is called Shakta philosophy. Worship of Durga Devi. Durga Devi is the personification form of the material nature, right? So then they start worshipping, material nature. Till the time till now I was trying to manipulate you, I was trying to exploit you. Now I understood, like, no, you are beyond my control. So then they become the worshippers of Durga Devi, right? So then the next level of progression is called the Saurashtra. So that is like the worship of sun. and the next level of, Ganapatyas, the worship of Ganapati, and understanding that, okay, like, no, material nature itself is not independent, no, it is controlled, no, by superior powers, no, it's still more superior Purusha, no, the concept of Purusha actually comes. So then Ganapati, no, being the controller of all the, Vignas, no, they like start worshipping Ganapati, then they start worshipping Surya Dev, no, then he is much more having control. And then they start worshipping Lord Shiva, no, who is having the complete control of the material nature because he's the husband of Parvati, right? And then they, like, the next level of philosophy comes is the worship of Vishnu, who's not just having control of material nature, he has control of even the spiritual nature. He can even award liberation and entrance into the spiritual nature, right? Like that. So this is how the progression actually happens. So the scientists, they are in the rock bottom and they cannot find out, they cannot uncover the material nature, and find out the spirit soul. It's not possible for them.
Spirit is something, is an individual experience, only the spiritual process can be attained.
By the mercy of the Lord. The experience, without mercy of the Lord, I will have only material experience. So with mercy of the Lord, I can actually have the spiritual experience. Right? And how do I get the mercy of the Lord? By chanting, by accepting prasadam, by doing these activities, accidentally also. No, if I get to do these things, so then I get some punya. So some sukruti I get, some mercy of the Lord. So then that qualifies us to understand the subject of soul and the super soul and things like that. And little more mercy if we get, prasada leshanugrihita evahi janati tattvam bhagavan mahimna. Prasada lesha means even if I get a little bit of mercy of the Lord, prasad means mercy. No, prasada lesha, no, like grihita evahi janati tattvam. So I will be able to understand. This is Lord Brahma's prayer in Srimad Bhagavatam. So Brahma is like mentioning this thing. If I get a little bit of mercy of the Lord, then I'll be able to understand Him, right? So I'll be able to understand the whole of the creation in a proper way, right? So without that, I can bang my head everywhere. I cannot find out what's the way this whole thing is constructed, right? So that's how it is. Any other question?
Prabhuji, I've heard devotees have many divine qualities that usually possessed by demigods. So any aspiring devotee, what should we focus on to enter divine qualities like humility and all this, more on bhakti, just chant properly and all this?
Both has to be done. So maybe we'll discuss that particular subject in a different session. Anything in these lines today what we discussed? Okay, anybody would like to share something that you liked and you would like to take home, drive home point?
But with what we are, in Bhakti Yoga, it is only one Bhakti Yoga. These are also included, right?
Which one?
These Nishtama Karma Yoga.
Mm-hmm.
It is not simply Bhakti Yoga. These are all elements are included in Bhakti Yoga.
See, without the support of Bhakti Yoga, none of the yoga systems can sustain. Bhakti Yoga is independent of all the other yoga systems.
But actually, without Nishtama Yoga, Bhakti Yoga is not.
That we'll find in the next session. You'll get the detail of that. So how this is beyond the jurisdiction of all other yoga systems. So it is not the elements that you have to see. No, there is a lot of logic is there. No, you'll understand in the next session. Any points that you liked?
I like the point that we don't directly look for the output, there is detachment, rather we work on our internal purification first. And then natural
Quality of work, if we increase, naturally result will come. If you focus on result may or may not come. Okay, anything else? Anybody would like to share?
How much ever stress you keep on something, what else sanction only will come. So sometimes we stress, okay, I didn't get this much marks, I didn't get this thing and all that. It's a useless content, it's useless stress.
So I should have worked hard that time. So I should have put quality of endeavor that time. So it's not there. So now result has come, okay, no, it's bad. I'll take a note of what mistakes I did. And then I have to quickly come back to what I'm supposed to do next. Not lamenting so much, right? Not too much worried about what has happened already. Learn lessons and quickly get back to what next to be done, right?
Like a big relief too.
Yes. Anything else you'd like to share? Yeah.
Learn to tolerate in both situations, happiness and distress.
Yeah. So we should learn to tolerate both situations because it's not in our control. Right? Okay. Anything else?
I like the point where you mentioned, we can gradually mature in our spiritual journey. Should not push a lot to get rid of material stuff.
Yeah. Untimely thing, it will just become topsy-turvy. Everything will become chaotic, right? So Krishna mentions that balance is quite an important thing. So overdoing something or underdoing something, you will not be nourished. You will not be happy, right? So you have to always maintain the balance. Nice. Anything else?
I find that there's a lot of clarity in the scriptures. I think in the general public is quite misinterpreting this.
Yeah, a lot of clarity in the scriptures. So this is one very important thing which I try to focus on, because this is one of my factor which attracts me to the spirituality, to the scriptural understanding, is I see every shloka as an equation. So I try to see that how it is relating with the rest of the scriptures and things like that. So a lot of clarity emerges. It's not some vague sentimental composition. It's quite logical and quite a consistent composition, actually, what we have. So that's a nice thing. When you explore the scriptures in this way, as a meaningful text, as something that is this has been told to us like it is, what is that, mythology and stuff like that. It's some good to believe kind of things, So that's actually a superimposition that is put on us. So, but then when we understand that these are not like mythology, this is quite scientific, quite meaningful. It makes logic. So then that gives a lot of this one. Just like I was so much addicted to coding, programming, and things like that, and now the same kind of addiction I feel in the scriptures. So because it's quite logical, right? So that's nice. Okay. Anything else? Okay, we'll do a little bit of kirtan, and so we'll do some elements of bhakti yoga, and I discussed a lot about other yoga systems. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Jai Shri Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Jaya Gandharvika Giridhari Gandharvika Giridhari Gaura Hari, Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Ananta Dev, Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Ananta Dev, Jaya Panchatattva Jaya Panchatattva, Panchatattva Jaya Panchatattva, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jai Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai. Hare Krishna.